For the first time since 2014, Samsung has officially revealed two new Galaxy Notes, the Note 10 and the Note 10 Plus. But before we go any further, I think we need to talk about these names. They make it sound like we're getting a Galaxy Note and a bigger Galaxy Note, but that doesn't actually feel right to me. The way I see it, we're getting a Galaxy Note and another smaller Galaxy Note. And for Samsung, going small here is kind of a big deal. All right, I realize I'm being a bit dramatic, so here's what I'm talking about. The bigger of these two phones, the $1,100 Galaxy Note 10 Plus, is your typical Samsung powerhouse. There is a Snapdragon 855 chipset inside with either 8 or 12 gigs of RAM, a whopper of a 4,300 milliamp hour battery, and up to 512 gigs of storage. You can expand further with a micro SD card, all of which sits behind a gorgeous 6.8-inch dynamic AMOLED screen. Samsung considers its Note fans to be power users, so it's really not a surprise that the Note 10 is as specced out as it is. And I know what some of you are thinking already. A 6.8-inch screen sounds massive, but because Samsung all but eliminated the bezels around the display, it's actually easier to hold than last year's Note 9. And despite being very slightly taller and very slightly wider, the Note 10 Plus is actually lighter than the Note 9 as well. If you're looking for a properly big sequel to last year's S Pen powerhouse, this is it. The standard Note 10 is a different story. Apparently, Samsung was tired of people walking into phone stores and falling in love with what the Galaxy Note could do, but buying a different phone because the Note was just too big. That's why the Note 10 exists. Like the Galaxy S10 before it, it's very nearly as good as its big brother, but its design is so much more compact, so more people can benefit from the Note experience. That means we are working with a smaller 6.3-inch AMOLED screen, a 3,500 milliamp hour battery, and specs that have also been slightly dialed down. Unless you live in Korea and you splurge on a 5G model, you're working with 8 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of storage with no expandable memory at all. I should also point out that for the first time since 2014, Samsung is shipping a version of the Galaxy Note without a Quad HD or equivalent screen. The Note 10 only runs at Full HD, and all of this taken together is not an insignificant number of compromises, especially when you consider the Note 10 is not that much cheaper than the Plus. Its starting price is $950. So, are these trade-offs worth it? Well, I'll put it this way. They'd be more worth it if the phone cost $100 less, but this smaller design feels so good that I wouldn't be surprised at all if the compact Note outsells the big one. Then again, I'm the kind of person who really liked the tiny Galaxy S10e, but even if I put that bias aside, the small Note 10 design feels honestly really kind of special. Well done, Samsung. No matter which version of the Note appeals to you though, you're largely getting the same experience. Both have been designed and built really well, this time with a focus on symmetry. You can see that in the sort of center-mounted cutout in the screen for that front-facing camera. Speaking of cutting,